Welcome to Good Morning Glendale. I'm Robert Heidt, President and CEO of the Glendale Chamber of Commerce. And today I have the honor of sitting down with Ron Castro, who is the president of BNC National Bank that is headquartered right here in Glendale, Arizona. Welcome, Ron.
Hi, Robert. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here with you for sure.
Absolutely. We love BNC. We love all you guys over there and the ladies too that you have at your office. So to start off, Ron, those that may not know who you are, you're well known throughout the West Valley. You're integrated into our community. But in the event that anyone that's watching doesn't know who Ron Castro is, share a moment or two about who Ron is.
Well, I'm actually a native of Arizona. I'm a fifth generation Arizonan. And I grew up not far from where BNC National Bank is, right here on 67th Avenue and Beardsley. So I went to Cactus High School right here in Glendale, 63rd Avenue and Greenway, and have been living in the West Valley for virtually my entire life, with the exception of a few times where I went away to college or graduate school. But besides that, I have a passion for living in the West Valley. I enjoy the outdoors out here, the lakes, the lifestyle, and my family is here, and both of my children are now sixth generation Arizonans and love living in the West Valley themselves.
I love it. Well, I don't think there's many people who would not know who you are because you're so integrated in the community. So we're fortunate to have you engaged in the rich history. So switching gears, tell us, who is BNC National Bank?
Well, I'm glad you asked that, Robert. It all starts with what our core values are. And our core values we developed as a team. Our entire team of employees came together to form our core values. And that's what really sets us apart from our competitors and other financial services companies. And so those core values are honesty and integrity, we find a way, and we live the golden rule. And I think that is probably the most important part of who we are. So kind of a little history about who we are and where we came from. Our bank was actually founded by a group of CPAs in Bismarck, North Dakota. And they saw a gap in the banking environment there in Bismarck and saw that their customers weren't being serviced properly. So they created their own bank, BNC National Bank. It stands for Bismarck National Corporation. About 20 years ago, the CEO of our bank relocated down to Arizona and brought the bank with him. He brought his family with him, and then that's how we got to Arizona. And so when the CEO moved down here, so did our headquarters. So we've been headquartered in Arizona ever since. Now, some of the things that we do is we're basically a business bank. That's our key focus.
That's awesome. We're fortunate to have you guys here, Ron, headquartered in Glendale. Can you help the folks that may not understand, again, when you look at banking solutions, there's a number of different opportunities for people, whether it's personal or professional, to engage in. What is it that sets you apart as a community bank? Because you're more than just a bank, you're a community bank here in Glendale.
Right. So, Robert, we are a very, very small bank. They do not get much smaller than us in Arizona. We are, our total enterprise has about 1.2 billion in assets. When you compare that to Wells Fargo, Chase, or any of the other big money center banks, community banks, customers come in and can actually move the needle on the financial performance of our bank. So that's really kind of the backbone of community banking is, we're very small. And so as a result, we can have a unique value proposition. And our unique value proposition is that we focus on building value to our clients based on high touch relationship building. And we use a couple of tactics in that. One is because we're high touch, we're always available to our customers almost 24/7. We do have meetings outside of regular business hours, but not all the time. But also quick turnaround times. And I think that is what most essentially, you can get anything on your phone anytime, whenever you want it. It's not really the same for banking. but we strive to have the quick turnaround times to allow business owners to act opportunistically so they can react to whatever it is that they're trying to accomplish for their business objectives. And so that is basically community banking in a nutshell. Is, we are going to build a relationship with that business owner and help them glide on the path of least resistance to their financial goals and objectives.
I think it's refreshing to see, and your team does an exceptional job of connecting with your partners, your clients, the customers, the community. The world and technology has gotten us so transactional, so that relationship really matters. And I think your folks at BNC, it just alludes in everything you do to demonstrate that. So we can't thank you enough for that. It does make a difference. What would you say is probably one of the most surprising things about BNC that people don't know? One, I think when I learned that you all were publicly traded, I didn't realize that, because while you may not be as big as the big guys, I think that's really, really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's kind of one of the coolest things about us, is that not only are we in the community, but you can also be a shareholder of your local community bank. And so people are surprised when they hear that. Our ticker symbol is BNCC. And so, we've had a really good run for shareholders. Even in the first quarter of this year, we announced a special $8 per share dividend. So we've rewarded our shareholders for being with us for long periods of time. So I would say that that's probably the most surprising thing that people don't realize about us. The other thing, Robert, is even though we are a tiny little bank, we have a nationwide lending practice in mortgage banking. We have lenders coast to coast, and we do mortgage loans in all 48 states. So that is especially of value to our clients and their business owners and employees now more than ever, because you can be a remote worker, and lots of people have moved to our state or other states, and we've been there to partner with them to help them with their moves.
That's awesome, Ron. Thank you so much for everything that you do. It makes a difference. And while you may not be, when you said tiny, you all have big heart. And I think that's what sets you apart, is that you care so much to help your clients and customers, many of whom we know through the chamber. And so they sing your praises all the time. So we're grateful that you're a part of our Glendale community and the West Valley and the Phoenix metro area, because I know while your branch is here, you have clients and customers all throughout the Phoenix metro area and around the state. So we're very fortunate that you call Glendale home for the branch. So Ron, with that, we're fortunate at the chamber that we have what I would say is a really, really amazing partnership with you all. You've been longtime member investors with us. We actually have co-branded mugs, as I was drinking out of earlier, because we have the BNC National Bank Conference Room here at the Glendale Chamber of Commerce that you all have sponsored, so that when we have meetings, folks come in and they're in your conference room. Now with COVID, it's been a little bit different, as you know, so we haven't had as many meetings as we normally have. So we know what it's like to partner with you, but what does BNC do in partnering in interop community? Because we know we're not the only ones. You've got to be a part of many great things and organizations. How does BNC engage in the community with other partners?
Well, it's really amazing, Robert. You guys have such a great team, and we'd love to emulate you guys getting your tentacles out in the community as well. But that's it's really a credit to our people here at the bank. Our people are very enthusiastic, not about just lifting up our customers, but also lifting up the entire community through our efforts. So besides our lending practices and banking practices in general, all of our employees are active in the community in one respect or another. It's mostly through volunteerism. Most of our employees at least serve on at least one board, and whether that's the Glendale Chamber or other chambers, we're involved in the community in that way on a volunteer basis. We also volunteer to non-business related organizations as well, anywhere from the Fiesta Bowl committee. One of our teammates is on the Fiesta Bowl committee. We have board members on health and wealth boards. So it's just really anything that we can do to lift up the community, we try and be there for them. And then we do a couple of fun things too. So, it's not all just banking and volunteerism, but there's a few fun things we do. So we are huge supporters of the local sports teams. And so on Fridays during the seasons, we typically have Cardinal Fridays, and our colleagues are encouraged to wear their favorite football team's gear. Mostly it's the Cardinals, but occasionally there's somebody that's a little rogue. And they donate $1 to a fund in order to be able to have the privilege of doing that. We collect all those dollars, and then we provide a donation to a selected organization here in Glendale as a contribution to them, whether it's a food bank or animal rescue or a community investment organization. That's been a lot of fun for us to see the results of that too. And then I would be remiss if I didn't say that that we did 50 million in PPP loans since the PPP program started last year, 14 months ago. So, and I know that's community involvement, because that's money that we didn't really have anything to do with. It came from the government through us, and we helped the government fund that money and that stimulus into owners' pockets. So that's something that we're very proud of as well.
Well, we are fortunate that you all were as actively involved as you were in the PPP and trying to work with the clients and businesses, because I remember several times talking to whether it was you or Scott last year, and you just were immersed in it. Was almost a 7-day-a-week challenge for you all to work with all your clients and understand what was going on and navigate them through the process. So your commitment helped ensure the economic vitality here in our community and region. So thank you to you and your entire team, because I think it was last year I talked with you and Scott, and you had gone, I don't remember how many weeks, and no one had a day off, and I think it was Easter. And yes. I think you all said, we're going to have Easter off. And I was like, one day. So that really shows the commitment of BNC National Bank. You've gone above and beyond, what anyone could have imagined.
It was really a labor of love. Everybody here loves this community so much, and there were a lot of people that were scared and hurting, and it was our pleasure to put in the hours to really lift the community up in that regard. They were scary times. I'm glad they're past us, and I'm glad we can move on. But by the same token, I'm glad that we were there to help everyone.
Well, we're better for it. So thank you. So a question, Ron, what would you say is the biggest surprise that you have witnessed or encountered over the last year? It's been one of the most challenging years in many ways for pretty much all of us who have been alive. What surprised you the most?
Oh, that's a good question, Robert. I would have to say resiliency. There was many opportunities where, personally, I was just done. I was just ready to give up and cash in my chips. But everybody all came together at the same time to beat this thing. And, all these companies somehow found a way, one of our core values, find a way to make it through this. And it went from the top of our organization to the bottom of our organization to all the businesses around us, the people, the children that were in school. So I think resiliency is probably the most surprising looking back on it.
I agree with you. I think, there were probably all of us at moments, we all would have thrown our hands up and kind of call it quits. But you're right. We had to find a way to adapt, move forward. It might have been a baby step, whatever it was, but, collectively, we're where we are today because of the efforts of everyone. And it was a collective effort. So,
right.
I always like to know what people's one aha moment was, or what that kind of surprise was to what their mind was in that moment. Because again, we've never lived through something like this.
Right.
So, again, we're fortunate that you all are very, very involved with us here. Just so that everyone knows that's watching, Ron serves on our Chamber Board of Directors. So we're very thankful to have Ron as a Board of Directors for the Glendale Chamber. He's also part of our finance oversight for the Treasurer of the Chamber. So can't get any better than when you have the President of the bank watching your dollars and cents of the Chamber. So we're thankful for your volunteerism above and beyond. And then also Ron serves on our public policy committee for the chamber. So Ron is definitely a busy guy, and it's an honor for us to be able to pull a little bit of time away from his busy day to talk with us. Before we wrap up, Ron, is there anything that I didn't ask you about you, BNC, anything going on that you'd like to share to make sure that we get out there to Glendale and beyond to know how great you, the bank, and your entire team is?
Well, I appreciate the opportunity, Robert. Yeah, I think that the key takeaway for our viewers or your viewers is that, I'm sure there's many people that have had it up to here with their bank, but have yet made that first step to making a change. And so it's not that difficult. It's not that scary, and we make it easy. And most of our products are free. So, I would leave you with that. Try the local bank. If it's not us as your community bank, try another community bank, but just try them out. We're here to serve, and we think that our unique value proposition may be a little bit better for small and medium-sized business owners.
Well, we appreciate that, Ron. And for anyone that is watching, and while they are chamber members, they're all of our viewers, they're all of our people because you're part of the chamber, so you're part of this family. But if you have not met Ron, when we get back to in person, which is closer, you will hopefully get a chance to meet Ron, perhaps Nancy, Dana, Scott, the entire team over there. They're usually very actively involved. So if you do have questions and want to know, certainly we can connect you here at the chamber, or hopefully you'll be able to see them soon at an event. So with that, Ron, I know how busy you are. We can't thank you enough for your support and investment in the Glendale Chamber and your commitment as BNC National Bank to the entire Valley and really the state, because you have a statewide presence. So thank you from all of us here at the Glendale Chamber. And with that, we thank everyone for tuning in. We will see you next time on Good Morning Glendale. Thank you, Ron.
Bye. Thanks again, Robert.